What's up, guys? It's Brandon Flash. Today we're in Minnesota with a 180,000 mile Model S P90DL. Let's take a look and see how it's aged over the years. So here we have the car. We're going to start with a walk around, just show the external condition, then we'll go over the ownership experience with the owner, Mark. Here we have the full front end. The whole front end is paint protection film covered, so it looks a lot better than it probably would otherwise. There are some chips in the chrome delete here to be expected, lots of highway miles. The paint protection film itself is showing some rock chips, things like that. But unless you're really looking at it here, you're not gonna notice that just walking around the vehicle, or if you see it in a parking lot or something like that. The vinyl down here on the grills, that's definitely taking a beating and could be redone to look a lot better. This bumper was repainted when he purchased the vehicle around 20,000 miles. But otherwise, it's just the paint protection film that's kept it looking this good for so long. These are the 21-inch wheels that I believe have been refinished since new, but these are the summer wheels. It's run on winter wheels in the winter, being in Minnesota and putting lots of miles on it. Coming around the side, looks pretty much spotless. Definitely the vinyl is showing some wear over time, to be expected. Chrome delete all on the windows, definitely looks good still. Window tint, of course. Coming around the back, not a whole lot to show. The rear of the vehicle really doesn't get a whole lot of wear over time with mileage. And the passenger side looks excellent as well. Then we'll hop inside and take a look at how that's holding up as well. So most of the time this vehicle is driven just by the driver and no one else in the vehicle, being a heavy commuter vehicle. Driver's seat definitely showing some wear, and this seat has been re-dyed a few times because the black leather dye is essentially coming out. But overall, not a whole lot of wear. Bolsters, to be expected, have some wear, but not a ton. And passenger seat, rear seat look brand new. Steering wheel also looks very good. Definitely a little shiny, but nothing a little Magic Eraser couldn't make look much better. And floor mats, they're aftermarket, so not original, so that's not really indicative of anything. But overall, vehicle looks pretty much new-ish. You could probably say that this vehicle looks like it has 40,000 miles on it when it actually has 180,000 miles on it. And to show you how many miles this has on it, right there, 184,000 miles. And this is a P90D Ludicrous. So Mark, why don't you tell us about your history with vehicles and how you ended up with this P90D Ludicrous and why you bought it?
Yeah, well, I've always kind of been into cars, and was looking at the Teslas when they first came out, and definitely was interested and had done some test drives at the service center. And I just kind of happened to be at a point where I was kind of moving into a new career opportunity that had a long commute. I thought that it would be kind of a fun idea and something totally new that I haven't gotten into before. So with the mileage of the commute and the quickness of the Model S, that was kind of what initially got me interested in it. And yeah, I was just kind of looking for the right one. I was looking at P85Ds. That was really kind of their first really well-rounded all-wheel drive performance sedan. So that was really interesting. The P100D had just come out too. The 90 was kind of a half step in between there. The P100Ds were still a little kind of high on the price point range for what I was looking to spend. The P85Ds were kind of in range, and then these P90Ds were kind of coming into that range too. So this is a 2016.5, so it does have the refreshed front end. And I wanted kind of the newer look. I generally keep cars for at least a little bit longer than most people do, so I kind of wanted to buy the newest looking car that I could at the time. And yeah, so far it's been holding up great, and I really have no regrets.
And when did you purchase it?
This car was purchased in the fall of 2017, so it was right around 1 year old when I bought it, with about 18,000 miles on it. I picked it up in Nashville, flew to Nashville on a one-way plane ticket, and then road tripped my way back using the Supercharger network.
the best way to break in any new vehicle to you.
Absolutely.
And how has your ownership experience been as far as repairs, things like that?
Yeah, I think that's maybe the number one thing on everyone's mind as it comes to Teslas and electric vehicles in general. And I've been really lucky. I'm just one example and one person with one vehicle, but my repairs have been very minimal. Not too much out-of-pocket expense. The handles can be kind of troublesome. I normally troubleshoot and diagnose and fix them myself. Usually when the car was under warranty, I did have one handle replaced, but I think I had problems with this one, and then the rear door handle too. One of them was covered under warranty, the other one was fixed with very minimal expense. As far as major concerns, the most recent failure that I had was a powertrain failure that sort of came on the dash. It had nothing to do with the drivability of the car, nothing that would leave me stranded or anything like that. It was just a message that came on the dash that says service powertrain. So this car does have the 8-year unlimited mile, or the 8-year million mile warranty, as it was once referred to as, which Tesla has since walked away from. But this car and all the cars that have that will carry that. So there is no mileage warranty expiration for this vehicle per se. So with 183,000 miles, I took it into Tesla and they put a new rear drive unit in the back, all 100% free under warranty. So that was pretty cool.
And how's your battery holding up, degradation wise, things like that? Are you charging to 100% daily?
Yeah, so my normal charge is about 90%, which is kind of the Tesla recommended daily charge level. I don't really dip down into the single digit percentages too often. I have a charger at home, a charger at work, so I'm really not doing a whole lot of full charge all the way down to nothing to full charge again. It stays pretty consistent that way. So yeah, 240 miles is kind of the range at 100%. This car, when it was brand new, was advertised to have about a 269 mile range, I want to say. So the degradation kind of happened within maybe the first year and a half, and then it's kind of tapered off ever since, and really hasn't been degrading too much since then. So yeah, everything's looking really good.
Excellent. And how many miles are you typically putting on per day, or what's your normal use case to put on this many miles?
Ooh, yeah. So it's mostly commuting miles, and I knew that going in to the vehicle ownership. So I work about 65 miles away, so we're looking at upwards of 130, 140 miles round trip every single day. That's generally speaking 5 days a week. Obviously, there's some weekend driving too. Up to cabin on the weekend, stuff like that. The occasional road trip here and there. Nothing too crazy, but we're doing kind of around 30-ish thousand miles a year. So I probably won't hit 200,000 by the end of this year, but it'll probably be first quarter into next year that we'll cross the 200,000 mile threshold, which I'm really kind of looking forward to. And honestly, with the unlimited mileage warranty, I'm really not looking to get rid of the car until we kind of exceed that warranty. Everything's going really well. I don't really have too many problems, and as long as it's under warranty with the battery and the powertrain, I really have no reason to move on from it.
And then the astute viewers will notice that you have AP1 because you don't have a camera right there on the side fender. So what are your thoughts on AP1 and how it's done for you, since almost all your miles are probably on autopilot? Do you wish you had gotten autopilot 2 or the new FSD or anything like that?
Yeah, great question, and yeah, I think some people will definitely notice that. And yeah, that was honestly something that I was really debating when I was thinking about buying the car, due to kind of the price range of where the used cars were at compared to the new cars. I was looking at used performance cars versus a new, like a 75D or something like that. Price points were kind of about the same, right in the kind of low 90s area. And the new 75Ds would have had the upgraded autopilot. So it was something that was out, it was in the market, it was available, I knew about it. And I did make the conscious effort or the decision to go with the older technology, as I didn't think that it was that important to me at the time. And yeah, not that I can take 100% credit for the all-knowing opinion, but totally 100% absolutely thrilled with that choice, and would definitely never want to redo that one and go the different way. I never think twice about that. Autopilot 1 is super rock solid with you know, lane keeping, and you know, I just kept hearing all these problems of people having lane keeping issue or phantom braking issues with Autopilot 2 or 2.5 or 3 or whatever, and it was just like, it was so foreign to me because my autopilot system was just, you know, pretty much the same all the time. It was very predictable. I really haven't had any of those issues. So yeah, there was kind of a weird area in Tesla timeline where, you know, they went from the Mobileye system to bringing the autopilot in-house completely, and yeah, it was kind of a rocky transition, and a lot of people still to this day have a lot of issues with you know, phantom braking and things like that, and I just really haven't had too many problems with that. So I love autopilot. That was kind of the last thing on my mind when I was looking at the car. Again, I was all about performance and going quick, and you know, that was really all I was looking at. But now, kind of sitting on the other side of that decision, autopilot is awesome, and you know, being able to drive so many miles for, you know, so cheaply compared to, you know, a gas car or something like that is just, you know, that's been the major deciding factor that's maybe kept me with the EV car, or not really looking to really get anything else.
And how is it doing in the winter? What is your winter setup? Any winter tips, especially given how cold and snowy and just brutal Minnesota winters are?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, winter's for sure a factor. A lot of people maybe play it up to be maybe a little bit more so than it is. I would say, and they're not always wrong. Everybody's use case is different. What I do in the winter is I go from a nice heated garage, and then I do a really long road trip up to work essentially, and then I plug into a charger with a warm battery, and then I obviously preheat the car while it's still plugged in at work, and then drive home. So what range, you're really going to get killed with range in the winter with short range trips. So constantly, you know, kind of getting in, driving short distances, letting the battery cold soak in a parking lot, getting back in, warming everything back up, moving on. And I don't really do that with this car. So yeah, the range hit is definitely real. It's definitely a factor, but it hasn't been a major deterrent for me based on my charger setup and the type of driving I'm doing. I obviously swap out the summer 21-inch wheels with 19s with dedicated winter tires on there. I would highly recommend that to everyone. The Tesla does pretty good as far as you know, getting around. The all-wheel drive system's pretty good at getting going. I would say the one knock against the Tesla or EV cars in general is that they tend to, you know, curb weight's a factor, and they tend to weigh a little bit more. So physics are what they are, and if you have a vehicle that's moving at a rapid rate of speed and it's heavy, it is going to take a longer braking distance to slow that vehicle down, whether you have winter tires or not. So that's really the only thing that I would maybe caution people against. But otherwise, they're beastly winter driving cars. I mean, they're just really planted. I don't worry too much. And actually, autopilot is pretty much available all winter long. You really have to have a snowy day where there's not a lot of you know, visibility with the lane markings and stuff like that for it to say, I'm not going to do it. So yeah, really no issues there. And I do enjoy winter driving. I look forward to putting the 21-inch wheels on in the spring, but I also look forward to putting the winter tires on in the fall and hitting the snow.
And behind us, we have your charger. Do you want to talk about what your charging setup is to support the high mileage driving, and kind of what kind of costs you incur with charging?
Oh yeah, definitely. That is a Clipper Creek unit. It was basically given to me by my power company. I was on sort of a EV pilot program where they were kind of trying to study basically just kind of consumers' use cases as it relates to charging EVs and when people are getting home, when they're plugging in. So it is kind of you know, a smart charger. It's connected and it's feeding data back to them as they kind of look at their subset of people and what they're trying to do. They're trying to design a program that is effective for EV owners I think obviously a power company wants to sell people power naturally. So they want to design a program that works for people, that is attractive to people, and they're just trying to look for basically charging habits of what people were doing. So again, I didn't really choose that. It was just sort of given to me for free. Installation was free, which was really nice. I paid 6 cents a kilowatt hour, so that's a really good rate. That's an off-peak rate. The charger is live from 11 at night to I think 7 in the morning, so it's a pretty decent window for charging there. So yeah, I get home from work, I plug it in. At 11 p.m. it kicks on, tops me up to 90%, and then shuts off. So yeah, really haven't had too many issues with it.
Probably skewed the entire program worth of data just with your driving alone.
Well, I charge at work though, so
okay, true.
Yeah. I think they're more trying to figure out when people are getting home from work and when they want to be using it. So, yeah, I don't know. It works out good, though.
Any other buying advice or overall EV Tesla, any advice to people considering a used higher mileage vehicle?
Yeah, I would say definitely do it. Don't be deterred by the mileage. Just factor it into what you're paying for the vehicle. I usually don't get scared off by high mileage just in general when looking at vehicles, as long as the price is matching or consistent with the mileage. You will pay less for a higher mileage vehicle, but I wouldn't be worried about things failing or anything like that. And I actually prefer a more daily driven vehicle versus something that wasn't driven as regularly and did a lot more sitting, or I'd rather buy a vehicle from someone that commuted on a daily basis versus someone that worked from home and the vehicle would sit 4 or 5 days out of the week and then it was sporadically used. If you're looking for the older vehicles, look for something that has the unlimited mileage battery powertrain warranty. I would say it was a lot of vehicles. When did they phase that out? About 2017?
I think it was, no, I think it was mid-19.
Yeah, it was for a while. So a lot of the pre-owned Model S's are going to have that unlimited mileage powertrain warranty. And I think that's really important to have. Again, they have since walked away from that and they've been a little less generous with the warranty, just as Tesla's become more popular, and everyone kind of saw that coming too. But the old cars are still out there. And yeah, I don't think you can lose going with that warranty. You're fully protected. Again, battery and drivetrain are the big expensive components that everybody is worried about with EVs. If you have those protected under warranty, there's no reason not to give it a try.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, no problem.
And there we have it. We have Mark's experience with his high mileage Tesla. I would say his experience is pretty consistent with what my experience was as well. If you've watched my videos for a while, you know that I had a nearly 200,000 mile Tesla Model S, and Kaylee actually had a nearly 200,000 mile Model S as well. In my experience, time is a lot of a factor for how these vehicles hold up in addition to the mileage, so definitely keep that in mind. I personally would not buy a very low mileage, say 2013, 2014 Tesla. I would actually rather buy 150,000 mile of the same car, being that if it's going to fail, it probably already has. So anyway, if you've made it this far, thank you for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.